FiliFest TV. My name is Heather Reyes-Smith.
And my name is Ronch Clemeno.
And today we will be doing some soft-spoken Alamat ASMR readings from Mindanawan origin. Alamat means legend or folklore.
For the month of October, FiliFest is celebrating Filipino mythology and folklore. Indigenous folktales, myths, and legends are rarely ever written, but instead passed down across generations by oral tradition.
Stories vary across different Mindanawan indigenous groups, and so the narratives that you will be hearing in this episode are simply one amongst many variations.
Ang Alamat ng Daragang Magayon, a retelling of the Bicol myth, The Beautiful Maiden, by Jessica Manuel. Bulkang Mayon is an active volcano located in the province of Albay, Bicol region. It is believed that Bulkang Mayon originated from the grave mount of two lovers, Daragang Magayon and Panganaron. A popular myth amongst Bicolanos is that when the volcano is calm, Magayon and Panganaron are embracing each other, and when it erupts, Batuga, Panganaron's rival, is challenging him. This is a story of love and tragedy that took place in an age before the Philippines, an age where different kingdoms and tribespeople ruled different parts of the lands. It is a story about a young and beautiful maiden from Kabikulan, known as Daragang Magayon, and her lover, Panganaron, the son of a Tagalog chieftain, and what came of their love and tragic fate. Daragang Magayon was the beloved daughter of the Rawis chieftain, Makusog. Magayon's beauty and good nature was desired by many suitors across the land of Kabikulan, but Magayon didn't return their affections, even to the most handsome and powerful chief of the Iniga tribe, Patuga. Patuga was persistent to claim Magayon for himself, but to no avail. His love for her was simply unrequited. One day, Magayon was bathing in the Yawa River. The smooth rock she was standing on was wet and slippery, and so she fell into the water. The violent current and deeper waters dangerously carrying her through the river. A young Tagalog man, Panganaron, was overlooking the same river and immediately spotted a woman drowning in it. He jumped into the river and saved her. Grateful for her savior, Magayon thanked him, and they became friends, and soon after, lovers. Panganaron, deeply in love with Magayon's beauty and kindness, wanted to marry Magayon. He asked her father, Makusog, for his blessing, and he gave it. He then proposed to Magayon, and filled with love and happiness, agreed to marry him. Patuga learned of Magayon and Panganaron's engagement and was filled with jealousy. Enraged, he captured Makusog and held him hostage. He demanded that Magayon must marry him instead, otherwise he will kill Makusog. To save her father, Magayon agrees to marry Paratuga. Panganaron learns of this and wages war against Paratuga in an effort to save both Magayon and Makusog. On the day of Magayon and Paratuga's wedding, Panganaron plans his attack. He and his warriors disrupt the wedding, and Panganaron is finally able to kill Paratuga. The two young lovers reunite and embrace each other, but as soon as he lets go to look at Magayon, one of Paratuga's warriors shoots an arrow at Panganaron's chest and kills him. Magayon wails in agony at the death of her lover, and with a knife, takes her own life. Makusog felt devastated at what had become of their fate. He buries both of them together. After some time, the inhabitants of the land noticed their grave slowly turning into a small mound, then into a big hill. The hill continued to grow over time, tall enough where it could surpass the clouds. From Magayon, the large hill finally became to be known as Bulkang Mayon.
This is the legend of the durian, a retelling of the Bacobo legend by J.B. Aguilias, published in Mindanao Harvest 3. The Bacobos of Mindanao were once ruled by a great and powerful datu named Datu Dori. He was wise and just, and a valiant warrior whose heroic deeds were known throughout Mindanao. When he was young, the Mikunawa, a huge and fearsome serpent, had swallowed the moons, and Mindanao was plunged into darkness for 3 days. The cries of his people had become too much to bear, and on the 3rd day he prayed to Manama and rode his horse to the sky. As he neared the serpent, Mikunawa raised her head and opened her mouth wide, and each of her teeth was as large as a man. Murmuring a prayer, Datu Dori spurred his horse on and raised his kampilan high. He could see the poison that dripped from her mouth, torrents of venom that he knew would kill him if he was not careful. He flew down and plunged the kampilan into her neck and slashed a wide arc across her throat. As the serpent cried out in pain, her cries shook the world, and what was once darkness became blinding light as the moons burst from her mouth and shot into the heavens. As if in a dream, the great Datu rode his horse back down to earth, where he was welcomed by his people with a feast to celebrate his victory. Great chieftains from all the kingdoms in Mindanao came to pay tribute. They brought offerings of enchanted swords, gold and gems wrought into fantastic works of artifice, and silk so fine and rich, woven from the rainbow itself. And Datu Dori looked at his feet, but he knew in his heart that he was lonely. From his throne, he could see that his warriors had cleared a space in the middle of the throng so that the ritual dance of Thanksgiving could begin. As they danced, one of the dancers caught his eye. Her skin gleamed as a pearl, and her long dark hair was a waterfall against the celebration of her body. She danced nearer to him, and when she met his eyes, he knew that he would be lost forever without her. He stood, drew close to him, and she whispered words of love. She held his hand tight, for she knew that what he spoke of was true, and she agreed to marry him. A season passed, and she found herself with child. She came to the Datu to tell him of his good fortune, and Datu Dori wept with happiness, for he knew he would have a son. As the day for her to give birth drew near, he sent for the best healers in the kingdom to attend to her. But she would have none of it, for the women of her tribe were strong and needed no herbs nor spells to ease the pain of birth. When her time came, she asked the great Datu to leave her room and to never look upon her as she gave birth. He nodded quietly, and with sorrow in his heart left her side. With each passing hour, the Datu grew more restless. He stood outside her door and listened for a cry of pain or need, but none came. He could hear soft rustling sounds from the room, but whether it was the sound of the wind or the leaves outside, he could not be sure. At twilight, he could no longer resist the urge to see her. He opened the door and was shaken by what he saw. Instead of his wife, he saw a serpent writhing on the bed. A row of thorns ran across its body, and its white belly glistened in the dim. He gave a great cry and was upon the snake in an instant. He grabbed its neck and was about to kill it when he spoke. "Great Datu, you were forbidden to gaze upon me as I gave birth to our son. I am a daughter of Mikunawa you killed, and I exact revenge upon you as coldly as you killed my mother. You will have our son, but only for a time. On the day he turns 16, he will fall ill and die, and your heart will return to the cold and to the darkness." With that curse, the serpent slid away and was never seen again. The great Datu turned to the infant on the bed, and the love he felt for his child was greater than any cure that could be wrought. He took his child in his arms and named him Durian, which meant little horn. He raised his son as well as he could, training him for times of war as well as preparing him for times of peace. Prosperity reigned in the kingdom, and the curse was soon forgotten, dismissed as a dream. But alas, all things come to pass in the great Manama's time. Months after his 15th birthday, Durian fell gravely ill. Datu Duri beat his fist against his breast and cursed the heavens. His healers came with their best potions, their strongest spells, yet magic could not save the boy. The most powerful Mabalian came from across the seas, bringing with her a pearl that held life. And yet, death was not afraid and came ever closer. The great Datu offered his enchanted swords, rainbow silks, and gold to Batala, but his prayers went unanswered. In the end, he could do no more than hold Durian in his arms as the boy expelled his last and final breath. On the day of his son's burial, the great Datu knelt at his graveside, and his eyes were mad with grief as he felt his heart grow cold and return to darkness. He knelt there in the sun and rain, moon after moon, until his people whispered among themselves that the time of the great Datu had passed. As the great Datu lay dying, he saw a thin ribbon of green rise steadily from the grave. The ribbon grew thicker and thicker, sprouting tiny leaves that grew wider and higher as a tree rose from the ground. Soon the tree spreads its mighty branches over Datu Duri. He thought he could hear great Manama saying that his tree was a memorial to his son, and that his people would partake of its fruits long after the time that his kingdom had passed. As the great Datu closed his eyes, the tree grew, bore fruit, and was covered with thorns, sweet-smelling food of the gods. With his dying breath, the Datu called the thorny fruit Durian.
The next story we have is The Mosquito, an interpretation of the Mindanao legend by Siti Nofasisa B. Pasandalan, published in Mindanao Harvest 3. There was once a mosquito who taught himself to be the strongest creature. One day, the mosquito bit man and challenged him. "Man, do you want to fight?" asked the mosquito. Man did not want to fight the mosquito. He told the mosquito to challenge the mountain, since it is so heavy that man himself cannot move it. So the mosquito went to the mountain and challenged him. "Mountain, which man cannot move, do you want to fight?" asked the mosquito. The mountain did not want to fight the mosquito. "I am not very strong," said mountain. "Then who is stronger?" asked the mosquito. The mountain explained that the clouds are stronger than I am, since it can cover me, and thus I cannot see the sky and the sun. Upon hearing the mountain's reply, the mosquito went to the clouds and challenged him. "Clouds, which cover the mountains which man cannot move, do you want to fight?" asked the mosquito. "I am not strong," said the clouds. "Air is stronger than I am. It destroys me whenever it blows." When the mosquito heard the clouds' reply, he left the clouds to soar for air. When the mosquito saw air, he again challenged him. "Air, which destroys the clouds that cover the mountain which man cannot move, do you want to fight?" asked the mosquito. But the air did not want to fight the mosquito. The air said, "I am not strong. I can only destroy the clouds." "Who is strong?" asked the mosquito. "Fire is stronger," answered the air. "It can burn and destroy things. Even when I blow at him, he still becomes stronger." The mosquito left the air and searched for fire. When he saw fire, he challenged him. Fire, which can burn and destroy things which air said is stronger, which destroys the clouds, which cover the mountain, which man cannot move. Do you want to fight me? Asked the mosquito. The fire just looked at the mosquito and said that he is not going to fight him. I am not the strongest, said fire. Water is stronger than me, since it can kill me. Once again, the mosquito left and searched for the stronger creature. He searched for water, and upon seeing water, he issued his challenge. Water, which can kill fire, which burns and destroys things, which air said is stronger, which destroys the clouds, which cover the mountain, which man cannot move. Do you want to fight? The water replied that he is not strong, and the mosquito once again asked water who is strong, and water replied, rice is stronger than I am. Whenever it is cooked, it eats the whole of me by absorbing me. So the mosquito left water and went to look for rice. He saw rice and issued his challenge. Rice, which absorbs water, which can kill fire, which burns and destroys things, which air said is strong, which destroys the clouds, which cover the mountain, which man cannot move. Do you want to fight? But the rice told the mosquito that he is not strong. Then who is strong? Asked the mosquito. Man is strong, replied the rice. When the mosquito heard the rice's reply, he left and went back to the man. Man, said the mosquito, according to rice, which absorbs water, which can kill fire, which burns and destroys things, which air said is stronger, which destroys the clouds, which cover the mountain, which you said you can't move, you are strongest. Do you want to fight? Man, who was busy working at the time, did not listen to the mosquito. But the mosquito was persistent, and he bit and bit man. Finally, man got annoyed, and he slapped the mosquito, which killed him. So guys, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel at FiliFest TV to see more content like this. Other than that, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, on Instagram at FiliFest, and also be sure to check out our website at filifest.co.uk, where you can check out the FiliFest shop. Thanks for watching, guys.